Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Short Game Long Talk, video game podcast for a hectic life. This month we played Storyteller, a mobile game that's also available on the Switch and Steam and pretty much everywhere. Took us about probably 2 hours on average, I'd say. My name, of course, is Eric. I'm joined always by my co-host.
I'm Jess.
And this was... I don't have a lot of notes on this game, but I did put one note because I was playing it. And I played it on mobile, and if you have, worth noting, if you have Netflix, it's free, which is always cool. So if you have a Netflix account, if you have an Android, all you have to do is, I think, do you download a separate app on Android, or do you, it's through Netflix?
You use the
Yeah, which on iPhones is different. You download the app separately and then log into your Netflix account.
How it worked for me is on the Netflix app, it said like games you might like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I clicked on Storyteller, and then it took me to the App Store to download it.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Since I linked through my Netflix, I didn't have to sign back in.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, it's pretty good about like signing you in pretty quick, even on mine, where you have to download it separately. But it's a really cool program that they got going on, and they have some pretty good games on there that we'll probably touch on throughout the lifetime of this podcast, like a game called Immortality that's about solving a mystery of between 3 decades of films. That it's really cool.
And to note, I was on Netflix earlier, like last night or something. I was just scrolling, and I got a little like on my laptop, and it games beta. So they're trying to shift the games from mobile to also on computers.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be very cool. I think them, especially I think Apple right now is having to pull back on their like strictness when it comes to allowing other marketplaces to exist on the iPhone. Right now they have a monopoly, and that's why you can't just play some games straight through the Netflix app, or you can't just have Game Pass straight through. I think you can now. You can do the cloud streaming through an app, but they don't want you playing other games that aren't through the App Store. But I think due to legal issues, that's starting to crumble, which is cool because that allows emulators to freely be uploaded onto your iPhone. And iPhones make great emulators. So good to know. And you were going to say something.
Just that Apple's in hot water right now with their antitrust laws and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll update you guys on that because I think a lot of games will be come available to people on iPhone, which is cool. But the one note that I put down in this game was that it is an absolute banger. Like the games we've played this year, which this is the 4th one, have been good. They've been good. You know, Murder the Sonic Hedgehog, very good game.
Great game.
Then we played A Little to the Left, pretty good last month. And then what was the other game we played? I'm blanking.
What did we do on February?
Right? Oh, Sucker for Love. Another great game. Really good game. This one is like a certified banger. Like I was vibing with it the entire time. I had to look up some clues here and there, but it wasn't a puzzle game. It avoided the puzzle situation where like you look up the solution and you're like, what? Like, what do you mean that was the solution? Like, I never had any frustrations like that. Did you?
Only nearing the end, but we can talk about that later because I literally had both my brothers
you told me about
on my shoulders trying to figure it out. And
I'm so curious which one that was because I think towards the end was when I had to, in the last couple chapters, I had like at least once per chapter I had to look up like what I would do is I'd look up the image and I would just see what the starting image was. So I didn't look up the whole thing. I didn't look up the whole solution. I was just like, just give me a start, a little thing, one thing. And then I could go from there. But man, okay. How would you describe this game? Because I feel like this might be one of the hardest puzzle games to describe because it's math. Like it's a math based because it's like A plus B equals C kind of thing. And you have to figure that out. So how would you describe this?
You get a prompt and you have to create the scenario through the prompt. It's a lot of if thens. So like if this happens, then this happens next. So if that just happened, then this happened next.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of thinking ahead because you only get like
At most
certain
6.
slots. Yeah. So only you have to like think ahead about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. There were a lot of times where I like la di da di da, and then I was at the last slot, and I was like, oh damn,
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah. So, like, for example, I just pulled up one of the random ones in chapter 4, and it says Lenora drinks poison. So it's like you have a couple scenes, and then you have 3 characters, and it's like, how did, and then obviously sometimes you don't even use all of the characters. So it's like, how did, what would cause Lenora to drink poison?
Drink poison.
It's like, well, obviously it'd be that she's sad. So you get her married to one of the guys, and then you say that the guy died in another scene, and then in the final scene, she's sad and commits suicide by drinking poison. It's very also worth noting. Every story I think is based in like either like Shakespearean times or like ancient medieval times, like one
Well,
of the two.
it goes kind of in chronological order
Oh
because it
yeah.
starts with Adam and Eve,
Oh
and
yeah, I forgot
it,
about Adam and Eve. They come back a little bit at the end too.
yeah,
Those were some fun puzzles. Yeah. And then also there's also similar to a little to the left. Sometimes you get a second prompt that adds into something
or third.
or a third. Yeah. I felt like very differently from what's it called? What the? Oh, I forgot. Okay. I got confused because I was looking at, pulled up one of the old ones, and it's giving me a different prompt because at the end you unlock like a bunch of bonus stuff you can do. But
Mm.
what was I? Oh yeah, so it'll say like, drink double poison, or she drinks the poison, he also drinks the poison will be like the second prompt, and you have to kind of solve that. But unlike a little to the left where some of the second solutions seemed so nonsensical and made no sense, these ones were always like, oh yeah, okay, I can see how this works. And they kind of teach you all along the way. Did you ever get like really frustrated where you had to like stop
Yes,
playing?
yes.
Okay.
It was the day before Easter,
Hmm.
and let me find. It was the last chapter.
Oh, okay. While you're looking for that, yeah, there's a when you clear every single challenge or puzzle plus the bonus ones, which I forget how much that totals up to, but you unlock like the bonus like end of the game challenge, which is called the stamp collection, and it looks like you get to go back to old levels with new prompts and stuff. And it looks like even for the one that I randomly pulled up, it adds like new characters and stuff. So like one of them was the devil, which was definitely not there in chapter 4.
Yeah.
And then like it looks like in the final chapter there's a like one more thing called the last straw, which is numbered 666. So like
Hmm.
that's cool. You don't have to do that. I didn't dabble in it. I was curious if you
I
dabbled
didn't.
in it. Yeah.
I didn't even know. I'm gonna be completely honest. As soon as I saw the end screen, I
Uh,
turned off my phone.
that's funny.
I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
cool, I'm done.
I waited till the end, and then they actually scratch out the end when you like where it says the end. It's scratched out after the credits because it's like, oh, here's all this other stuff you can do, which I will do. I think this is a really good game to like keep on your phone and like kind of go in and see like which one of the challenges you can do. But I also think if you just play the game and beat it in 2.5 hours, that's plenty. Like 2.5 hours, I think that's plenty.
Two that made me and my brothers so confused.
Hmm.
Unfaithful has been punished, and I don't know what you called it, but for my phone,
Hmm.
it's called Knight and Maid Murder the Monarchs and Have an Affair.
Yeah, that one was tough. That one was really, really hard. I definitely needed a hint for that one. What was the chapter on that one?
That was the final chapter in the novels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was reading what the chapters are in the novels like page, but yeah, if you click on the
Hmm.
different one. So let me see. Unfaithful husband punished. I actually did figure that one out on my own. I was like, because I was messing around because what I was doing to figure it out, which is cool because yeah, it looks like I was wrong about the 6. You can get up to 8 panels. What I was doing was kind of messing with what changed the witch's opinions on things,
Mm,
and that kind of got me there because that it's all cause and effect, which is basically the name of this game. But yeah, we can talk a little bit more about those puzzles once we get to the spoiler section and kind of discuss those. But yeah, I thought that one was pretty tough. The Love Revolution one, the Knight and the Maid murder the monarchs and have an affair, was that was a hell of an ending one, which we'll talk about later. But did you have any other like spoiler free thoughts?
um, you've been mentioning like, oh, you can beat it in like 2.5 hours. Uh, it took me an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know you like sped through it. I'm very impressed.
And I've been working on this since like January or something.
Yeah,
I mean, when did I download
which
it?
makes like I think that kind of speaks to how good of a like just pick up and play kind of game this is. Like you can,
Yeah.
it's perfect for just playing a simple puzzle game because you can just get in and typically, aside from the later chapters, those puzzles are going to take you at max 2 minutes,
Yeah.
which I think is like the perfect amount of time to spend on a puzzle.
I don't know when I installed it, but I think it was like back in
It
January.
was probably like late January. Yeah, I think I remember you bringing it up at least once. When did the game like click for you? Do you remember?
As soon as I downloaded it, I'd always seen it like on TikTok and stuff, which is
Hmm.
what made me like finally download it. Because we had talked about it, I think, when
Yeah,
we
I've
were like,
definitely. It's been on the list.
yeah. But like I saw it on TikTok and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like download it, start playing it. I'll tell Eric about it. If we end up not doing an episode, I'll just be playing a game. If we
Hmm.
end up doing an episode, great. And as soon as I downloaded it, I was like, okay, dee 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 dee. I made a story.
Yeah, it's really cute. The art style is really, really good. Um, and then I was going to bring this up before we go into spoilers. Was the development of this game has been in uh, it's been in development. It came out last year, late last year or mid last year. So in of 2023, and then it came out on mobile in September of 2023. So that's where I was thinking it came out late. And I think mobile is definitely the place to play this. Like it's perfect for
Mhm.
mobile. Touch controls are like brilliant for this because you're just dragging stuff around. But yeah, it started development in 2009, which is crazy. And then it won a bunch of awards like throughout its development period. And let me put this in the chat. The way this looked originally is crazy to see where it's come. So it used to be
Oh
like
my
the most pixel like art style game with like it just has it is the same exact game though. Happy couple ends in murder. And you got 3 panels and it's like how do you figure that out? How does
Yeah.
that story prompt work? And then it looks like the developer, he like stopped working on it in 2015 and then he eventually started working on it again, and then there was a limited time demo in 2021, and then it finally came out in 2023. And I'm looking at the reception, and it looks like it scored like on average like a 75 out of 100, and I think that's pretty wild for a game that's like 2 hours long that really has no like GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10, which is like crazy.
That's
Uh,
wild. I
yeah,
love this game.
yeah, like Nintendo Life gave it a 8 out of 10, which I think is where it should sit, like 8,
Yeah.
8.5. Um, yeah, some places gave it a better score, but I'm like, some of these scores, I'm like, good Lord. Let me see if this GameSpot one ever got updated because sometimes they go back. Let me see. Nope, they gave it a 4. Uh, Lack of challenge makes for dull gameplay. That's crazy. Like, there's definitely enough challenge in this game.
Yeah.
And for a simple puzzle game like this, like, it doesn't have to be like the
Not
most.
everything has to be complicated.
Yeah. Um, Amount of puzzles is underwhelming. Unrewarding choices limit replayability. I'm like that's a crazy review. I think the level of challenge on this is like just right. Could there be? I bet those other like I haven't delved into like I looked at my percentage and it says I have 66% completion. So that means there's still so much more of this game.
Yeah.
And who knows how hard those get. And I think this game is basically a slam dunk. Everyone should play it. I really, really enjoy it, and it was like really nice to get back to our muse Annapurna, who published this game. It was developed by Daniel Benner, Benmergy. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Let me see if there is a. I want to be respectful and see if there's a. Nope. I apologize. He's from Argentina, but there is no pronunciation on his Wikipedia page, unfortunately. But he made a really good game, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Do you have any other closing thoughts before we go into probably a quick intermission?
No, just it's a really fun game. If you have Netflix, it's free. Uh, Download it, play it. I loved it.
Yeah, let me see how much it is. Like not on.
Mine has Netflix.
Yeah, it's $15 on Switch, and I bet it's on sale quite a bit. So,
Probably.
but like we said, best place to play it is going to be on your phone. Like it feels really really good on your phone.
I can't imagine playing this on like with a joystick.
Yeah, that would be rough. Switch does have touch controls, so I wonder if there is
Yeah.
touch controls in that. But yeah, that would be rough. But okay, we will head into the intermission with some news, not news, and then yeah, we'll see you guys in a second. All right, welcome to the intermission. I'm going to talk about something that I've been a fan of since I was a child that I don't talk about very much because I'm no longer really friends with the people that I would enjoy this with, which is wrestling. I watched 8 hours of wrestling this weekend because it was fucking WrestleMania and it was incredible. I had a great time. It was so nice to be back in the ridiculous world of professional wrestling. And I really, really enjoyed myself. There was some great matches, and I'm excited to kind of because I found out recently that we've been mooching off of somebody's Peacock subscription, and I realized recently that the WWE Network, which was their streaming service back in the day, has merged with Peacock, and so I just have access to the WWE. So recently, the Royal Rumble came on, and I watched the Royal Rumble. And one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, CM Punk, came back at the end of that. And I was like, no fucking way. This is crazy. So then I started paying attention and I kind of caught up. I wasn't watching, but I was like, I'm going to watch WrestleMania this weekend. And God, it was fucking sick. I was like, I have to find people to watch this with next year. I don't know how much I'll be paying attention like moving forward. I've definitely been still riding that high, and I've been like all over wrestling social media today and yesterday. But I'll be curious to see how invested I am. I still love the Royal Rumble, and I still love like SummerSlam, and I'll probably pay attention to those. But those in between smaller pay-per-views, I have no idea if I'll keep watching those. What's your experience with professional wrestling?
That's so silly that you ask. So one, my family with all the boys. When we were younger, the boys were like all about WWE. Did I ever watch it? No. But I just know that my cousins and my brothers were. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Something about suplexing and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that I got tossed into the pool so many times because
course.
Jared and Jonah wanted to try a new wrestling move.
Of course, you're tiny. It works.
But what's it called? So silly that you brought that up because WWE has been living on my For You page on TikTok.
Oh yeah? Who? Like what specifically?
The goth lady.
Oh, fuck yeah. Rhea Ripley? Yes. She's like my favorite wrestler on the planet right now. Like legitimately, she is so good and she's so badass. Oh gosh.
I just love I love her makeup.
Yeah.
And like her hair.
Yeah.
Do you know she's a natural blonde? Or she used to be blonde?
I think I knew that, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Her and Dom
Yeah,
are always on my For You page.
Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, they make good content. Because so they're part of the Judgment Day, and that's their like their stable or faction. I don't know what they're being referred to right now. But Rhea is the women's world champion right now, and then the like main guy from that, which his name is, oh man, what the fuck is his name?
Oh,
I forget. Oh, I have to look this up. I don't know why I'm blanking on this. It's just crazy. Damian Priest. Sorry. Damian Priest just won the WWE, like the men's world heavyweight championship,
yeah.
on Sunday. And so and then I think, there's one other guy named Finn Balor who's like a very talented wrestler. And then Dominic Mysterio is fine. He knows exactly what his role is. He's like a little shit heel. That's like his whole personality, and he's great at it. But there's that audio of like, I didn't do shit, like that TikTok audio of him, because it's like Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley like holding up their belts and saying all the shit they did, and then it comes to him, he's like, I didn't do shit. And it's so funny. Yeah, she's awesome. She
Yeah.
is awesome.
Um,
Whenever I see her though, you've met Becca, right? My friend Becca. No. She just looks like, shout outs to Becca if you're listening to this. She just looks like a really buff Becca. So it's really funny except she's like Australian and not Mexican at all. But yeah, she is badass. She's such a good
yeah.
wrestler and like just so sick. So that's really funny that she's just like all over your For You page.
It's like her aesthetic is so cool.
Yeah.
But also a silly thing from last semester. I think it was last semester. I can't remember. Or was it this semester? A little while ago, me and my roommate went to a show because one of our friends was in it. So we went to the show, and our other friend, Riley, he came over to sit with us. And in the middle of the show, we look over at Riley, and he just has like wrestling like on his lap, and he's like looking down and looking up
He's
at the
just watching
show.
wrestling in the middle of like a theatrical performance. Oh man. Yeah, I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. I've always paid attention to it. And it's funny that I'm bringing this up on this podcast of all things. The reason I'm a fan of wrestling was because one day I rented a wrestling video game, and like became obsessed with it. And I literally used to play every new wrestling game that came out like every year, for the longest time. And I'm like very interested in the newest one. But yeah, that is, it's funny you were at like a theatrical performance, because I've always said that like wrestling is the world's longest, like it's like a soap opera for men is what it is, because it's just the most insane shit every single week that happens.
Yeah.
But storytelling's been really good. We're not going to talk about like all the fucking the head of WWE leaving due to terrible scandals, but I will say that Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, has taken over, and he's done like a fantastic job with storytelling and direction and everything like that. So WWE is in a very good place, and it's crazy like how fast it will become your like social media. Like they
Yeah.
are everywhere, especially because now they're allowed to have their own personalities online, instead of like you have to be like Rhea Ripley has her real name in her like bios and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's her wrestling name. Before, you were just Rhea Ripley. Like you had to
Yeah.
put WWE in your tag, you had to put all this stuff, and you had to be her all the time. But in reality, like she's friends with, the people she's like kicking their ass, right? Like she's friends with
Yeah.
them, and there's photos of them hugging and smiling and doing all that stuff, and breaking what is called kayfabe. Kayfabe is like that's the story, and you can't break
Gotcha.
that. But nowadays, it's kind of like a thin line of, which I think is so much better, because yeah, you don't watch wrestling, but like Rhea Ripley's all over your fucking For You page because she's like a hot goth chick. Like she's just above her. Literally, her nickname is Mommy. Like literally, like it's hilarious. And she's
Wow.
just everywhere. She is like so marketable. It's crazy. So I think they're in such a good spot to be able to just be everywhere. If you like one professional wrestling thing, it's everywhere. Like,
Everywhere. I liked one edit of her, and immediately like the official WWE page came up, and then her personal page came up, and I just saw like interviews and like
yep,
them walking backstage, and I
yep.
was like, damn, guess my For You page WWE now.
Yep, it's so because every single wrestler has their accounts basically and like are typically above average or great at social media because they're all young now and the ones that aren't young are like just really good wrestlers, so they like you're going to tune in. Cuz yeah, all it takes is like you have Rhea Ripley and you're like if you were in town and I was like, "Yo, Rhea Ripley's like going to kick this Irish girl's ass on Sunday. Would you like to watch?" You'd probably be like, "Yeah, I follow her on TikTok. I might as well fucking see her actually wrestle." Like, and then you're like, "Oh, this was pretty cool." And then all of a sudden you're like watching these other matches. It's crazy. It's like, it's so fast to be able to just like hook you in. So I think it is very funny that I brought that up. It's like hilarious, actually. I love that.
But also back to really quick back to Riley. He had already seen the show that we were
Oh,
watching
okay.
like 2 times. So he was just there because we asked him practically.
He's like just being supportive.
Yeah.
I respect that. Yeah, that's great.
And also the person we went to go see, his name is Spirit. I heart Spirit. He's so funny.
Shout out Spirit.
Shout out
If you're
Spirit.
listening, if you're out there.
What's it called? Spirit and Riley are like best friends, best friends.
Okay.
So it was like no big deal.
They'd understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Next time I'll find we can watch some Rhea Ripley matches because I showed some clips to Nina and she was like, "I like her." I was like, sick, because I want like I think the one thing that they haven't figured out, which I'm hoping changes, is I want to wear wrestling shirts, but they are the worst designed merchandise on the fucking planet most of the time. So I just want I want a cool Rhea Ripley shirt, but I don't want one that says "I'm your mommy." Like, that looks great on her. Like all of their merch looks great on the person, right? But then
Yeah.
when I'm wearing it, it looks fucking stupid. So I'm not gonna. I just want one that's like a couple pictures of her being really badass. Like basically what I want is a wolf, like a Walmart wolf shirt,
Cool.
but with Rhea Ripley on it, because that would look fucking sick. Right? Can't you picture that? It would look so sick.
Like as soon as you said I want a shirt with like her face on it, I was like, oh, so it's like a little face down in the left corner and then one like in the middle and then like just all around.
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
And I would wear that too.
right. It would be so sick. You have like the slight like acid wash to it too. It'd be sick. It'd be super cool. I'll try to find one. And then we're gonna come next episode just being like, I'm wearing my Rhea Ripley shirt. Yeah, that's so funny. I love that she's the one on your For You page because she's like my favorite right now. Because I don't really know. I know a lot of the guys because they've stuck around. Like fucking Randy Orton, who's been wrestling since like 2001, is still wrestling. And I know like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, those guys. And I've been paying attention to some of the up and coming people. But she's like legitimately my favorite wrestler. And it shows how how far that women's wrestling has come in the last like 10, 15 years, because good Lord, it used to be a joke. There was like 2 to 4 good women's wrestling. Now there's 2 title belts that are actually legitimate title belts instead of just like, here's the Divas Championship. That's what they used to call it. And it was a fucking tramp stamp of a belt. It was terrible. So yeah, very cool. What are your updates?
Okay, so first up is I went back to, well, first go look at what I just
You
sent in
found a
chat.
shirt. That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's not bad. It's
Yeah.
at Hot Topic.
Yeah. But I also want her to look a little more insane on the photo.
Fair. There's one picture I like have seen of her, or like it's a clip from a video.
Hi, welcome to
But
the
like,
Rhea Ripley podcast, by the way. Welcome. Subscribe. Go on.
she just has like, she's like sticking her tongue out like crazy. She's like,
Yes. Yeah, she's fucking
That would be
sick, dude.
so
Yeah,
great.
I would love that so much.
My first update, I'll do the silly one that isn't really like game related,
Hmm.
but for my conspiracy theory podcast or for my conspiracy theory class,
Oh, that's right.
um our big project is that we had to make our own conspiracy theory. And it was either we write a gigantic, like, just gigantic fucking paper. I don't remember the word count, word minimum, but
Hmm.
it was either write a gigantic paper because there's four people per group. So, like, it wouldn't be really gigantic if you split it four ways, but
Hmm.
it was gigantic looking at the word count. So it was either to do a big fucking paper like that, or you could do a 7 to 10 minute podcast.
Hell yeah.
And so I was like, I have a mic, I have Audacity downloaded. If you guys don't want to write a paper, we can record a podcast.
Yeah.
And my group was like, all right, let's do it. And we ended up recording for 40 minutes.
All right.
But we had to cut so much because we can't take each other seriously, especially with how fucked up not fucked up, but weird our
Hmm.
conspiracy theory was.
Are you going to reveal what it was?
Oh, you want to know?
Do I get to listen to this later? Is that why?
I mean, I can't. I can send it to you if you want.
I want to know what it is.
So, very long story short, you know Dante's Paradiso?
I think so. Yes.
It's he like wrote three books, Inferno, Paradiso, and then the
Oh,
other one.
yes. Okay.
In the Paradiso, he wrote that the moon is the first layer of heaven, basically.
Okay.
And so basically, there's this giant organization on Earth called the Prism.
Okay. So this is completely fabricated, right? Like
All completely
this
fabricated.
is not something like based off of a actual conspiracy theory.
No, this is someone someone in my group. One, it was just bored in their astronomy class,
I was like,
and
yeah, I mean, astrology would make sense.
no, they're bored in their astronomy class, looking at the moon, and then made the conspiracy theory in astronomy.
Okay.
But basically, there's this giant corporation called the Prism.
Hmm.
It's backed by Pink Floyd,
Okay.
because of their album, The Prism.
Of course.
And basically, Prism works to get their members onto the moon, where there's a superstructure on the dark side of the moon, because that's where Atlantis is.
Atlantis is on the dark side of the moon.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we only see one side of the moon, because Atlantis is on the other side.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. So did you know, like, did you tie into I think it's called the Silent Sea, moon, the Silent Sea. Yeah. Sea of Tranquility on the moon. So is that where Atlantis is?
We did not touch on that. I don't even know what that is. I
The Sea of Tranquility is a lunar mare that sits in the Tranquilitas Basin on the moon. So yeah, there you go.
you know, basically, so the dark side of the moon is hollowed out.
Okay. Wait, so it's like
And
it's not a sphere then.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, kind of. So Atlantis is underground on the moon,
Okay.
and the rest of the crust that still is like covering Atlantis on the moon acts as their false, not false, but like artificial ozone layer.
Oh, okay.
And that's how they can breathe on the moon. And every like celebrity disappearance and like
Okay.
weird death
Okay.
is because they prism and went to the moon.
Okay. So like Jimmy Hoffa is there and stuff like that.
Yeah, Elvis
Okay.
Presley's there.
Okay.
For a minute when we didn't know what was happening with Kate Middleton, Kate Middleton was up there.
Okay. That's very funny. I like that.
And
That
what's
is.
it called? Oh, the reason why SpaceX was made
Mm-hmm.
and Elon Musk made Tesla
Okay.
was because Prism kicked him out
Okay.
because he was getting too like um what's it called?
Too close to the
Too
truth.
risky with like
Okay.
with what he was doing. And on the moon they use Tesla coils to make renewable energy, which is why he named his brand Tesla.
Gotcha.
To be like, hey, remember I still know about this.
I like that.
And the reason why he's so adamant on like going and living in space with SpaceX is because he wants to prove to Prism that it's not just Prism who can do it,
Okay.
that anyone can do it too.
Got it. That is pretty crazy. How long is this supposed to be? So you recorded for 30 minutes, but you're going to cut it down?
Oh, I already edited it
Okay.
all.
So how short is it?
It went down to, we recorded for like 45 minutes
Uh-huh.
and I had to cut it down to 28
Okay.
because
Well,
there were so many.
if you guys are interested in hearing this theory, we can put it on the channel as a bonus episode. Get the consent from your friends, and I'll listen to it
I
and
will.
see what we think.
The editing's very crude. Not crude, but
Rudimentary.
you could tell it's my first time trying to edit a podcast.
Yeah.
There's vine booms, there's cricket noises, there's golf claps.
Hey, I like that. I used to do that when I started editing. I used to do that stuff too. Now I'm lazy and I don't do that. So I like that. And I'm very curious to listen to it. I would love.
I'll send it to you.
Yes, please. That sounds incredible.
And sorry, I keep thinking about like things
It's all
that
good.
when you were saying the intro, I realized I copied our intro.
Did you really?
A little bit. Because I start off, I'm the host of the podcast supposedly.
Of course, you better be.
And I went, all right, guys, welcome back to Case Open, a conspiracy theory podcast where we talk about all conspiracy theories, new and old.
I like that. That's a very good intro. If you ever actually do a conspiracy podcast, there you go. That's a good intro.
I know. Case Open is my name. I made
Case Open.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out a name the entire time we were like workshopping this, and so my friend Lily, she was just like think of it as we record. And so take one, I go, hey guys, welcome back to Case Open, not Case Closed. Case Open.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that works. It flows. It makes sense. Yeah, it allows you to always have the case be open. You know, no mysteries are ever solved. Yeah, I like that. That's a good title. I'm proud of you branching out in this hypothetical fake podcast world.
Thanks.
It's very cool. And you got a little editing practice in too, which is cool.
Exactly. And my second thing is if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, or you just have known me for a while, you know my favorite game on the Switch is Mario Kart. And I for some reason had the feeling to like, hey, I want to go play on my Switch right now. I'm gonna go play Mario Kart, and there's 2 new cups.
Yeah.
And so I completed 50cc, 100cc, and I'm about to complete 150cc.
Nice. Working your way through it. Nice and relaxing. That's cool.
Yeah.
I recently, when I last spent some time with my nephew, I played through some of those new courses, which is basically the only time I play Mario Kart anymore. So yeah, they're pretty good. They've been a lot of fun. And then they added new characters a couple packs ago, which I wasn't stoked with who they chose. I was really hoping they would do like Nintendo characters and not just Mario characters.
Yeah. But I do like that we got Peachette.
Yes, Peachette's cool. Peachette's
But
pretty cool.
a little part of me was like, if they added Bowsette. Bowsette.
Yeah.
I would change from my main.
The fake horny fan art character.
Yeah. But imagine, it'd be so silly.
It would be silly. it's just as silly as having a Wiggler riding another Wiggler.
Why
Which
did they add the Wiggler?
I don't know.
In one of the new maps, there's a giant Wiggler. So you could have a Wiggler riding a Wiggler,
Hmm.
dodging a giant Wiggler.
Yep. They did add Funky Kong, which is cool. But
And the mayor.
Pauline,
Yeah,
she's
Pauline.
great. I want her in everything. She's one of my favorite
Yeah, I love her.
one of my favorite characters. But yeah, oh yeah, they added like PD Piranha, I think.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so they got Diddy Kong and Funky Kong. No, it's just those. Oh no, this was an earlier one. Yeah, I just wish they would have. I wish that yeah they did add PD Piranha. They added Birdo. Yeah, there's a Wiggler and Kamek, which I'm like neither of those needed to be like Magikoopa. Neither of them needed to be characters. No one was asking for that. Like, give me Kirby, give me Samus, like give me
I
Zelda.
would love Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby would be great in this game. Um, we have the Inklings, we have Animal Crossing characters, we have Link, like we have Diddy, and I mean Donkey Kong's been in all these games, but yeah, just give me something different. Just make it Nintendo Kart. Like
Wow.
you want a new twist to get people to buy. I mean, I guess Mario Kart's just too good of a brand at this point, but still, I wanted.
Nintendo Kart kind of sounds like the Walmart version.
Yeah,
The we got Mario Kart at home.
yeah, we do. Everyone does. It's the highest selling game on the Switch. Everyone has Nintendo. Everyone has Mario Kart at home. Yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about to change topics is like my struggle to play video games right now. I have not played Persona for 2 weeks.
Oh damn.
The last game I played, like legitimately, was I played a little bit of Pokemon because recent update was friend of the show Grace finished Pokemon Shining Pearl, which is great. And I'm very excited to talk to her about her team. So we need to like step our shit up. I'm about halfway through, I think. Maybe less than halfway, maybe like 40% through. But I'm also like beelining it through because I already have my team and everything. So
Uh-huh.
Jess, I know you haven't even opened the game, but we can maybe that can be your project for July.
Yeah,
When
maybe that's
that's a
my
good one
big
to take with you.
project.
But I've been struggling to play video games. Like I don't. I think I just got a little burnt out on Persona. I'm
Yeah.
like very close to the end, which is funny because I'm 60 hours in, and I think that just shows how good Persona 5 was. It was I played it for like 160 hours, and I think I took a 2 week break once.
Yeah.
And it was like way later. It was like 90 hours in or something like that. Persona 3 still really good. Still really love the combat, and I will probably finish it next week because Nina is going out of town for a while.
Oh,
She'll
where's she
be
going?
she's going to Georgia for work. So she'll be
Damn.
there for a bit, and that'll probably be the time that I just every Monday through Thursday, I'm just gonna play a lot of Persona and just finish it because I'm already over the time that was like it's supposed to be a 60-hour game, and I'm somehow over that, and I don't know how because I don't feel like I've been taking a long time. But yeah, I've just been struggling. I've been bouncing around a lot of other games. I've been downloading random games to try to just play. Tonight, when we're done recording and I'm done eating dinner, I'm going to download one of the mini games I have on backlog on my Steam Deck and just play and see if that snaps me out of my funk. But it's been very weird. Like I have barely been able to watch animes and stuff like that. So, just to be transparent with people, right?
Yeah.
There's those times where you go into those funks, and I'm not enjoying things. I'm just not as passionate right now.
Yeah. And it's
Which,
completely fine to not
oh yeah,
be passionate. Sometimes you just want to be meh, and that's chill.
yeah, that was definitely me. But I did start a new anime. Oh my god! Speaking of anime, I finished Jujutsu Kaisen. Holy shit! Please,
Oh,
have
I
you?
haven't finished the
I
last
know.
episode.
We're gonna probably end up doing like a bonus. Holy shit. I had a long discussion with your brother about it.
Oh, with Jared.
Yeah, I had some thoughts. But yeah, I started. What was it? It's like, let me see what the title is, because Jesus, titles in animes are. This one's not even that crazy. That's what's annoying. I did watch. Okay, so last night I watched the first two episodes of an anime called God's Games We Play, which has two episodes out right now. Very good. I liked it. It's one of those like shows where it's like the main character is smarter than everyone else and stuff like that, which is pretty good. I started watching this show called Solo Leveling, which has been like advertised to hell and back on into my face, and I started watching it and it seems good, but I'm also like already seeing the Aaron Yeager-ness of the main character, which I'm like, if you're going to go the Aaron Yeager route, I might get annoyed with you because I got annoyed with Aaron Yeager, but Attack on Titan was just so captivating that I had to finish. So I'm
Yeah.
taking a break from that one. But I did watch, it's called Faerun Beyond Journey's End, which is a fantasy story. Basically, the pitch I'll give you is that it is a story about an elf who traveled with two humans and a dwarf and like saved the world. And then they don't see each other for 50 years. And she comes back and like the humans are old and one of them dies. And she like realizes like, I barely knew these people because 50 years for me, they traveled together for like 10 years. And
Yeah.
for an elf, that's like no time at all. So it's like kind of her journey through, I won't like spoil anything else, but she's basically going on a journey to understand humans more. And so far it's been very cute, very nice. The main character is like very soothing. Hasn't been very high stress, which is nice. And yeah, I would recommend that. Are you watching any animes right now?
Not animes.
What are you watching?
You know how last time I went to your house, I was on my war movie kick?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I'm watching the series called Band of
Oh,
Brothers.
fuck yeah. It's a classic.
Yeah, I fucking love Band of Brothers. Z recommended it to me. I love it.
There's three
Whenever
like versions of, or not three versions, but there's an army one, which I think is the one you're watching. There's a,
I'm watching the one about Easy Company.
yeah. Well, Band of Brothers is the name of that one. Then there's another one made by the same people called something else. And then
Oh,
there's a
okay.
new one that just came out that's called like Masters of the Air, which is about the Air Force. So
Mm,
if you want to watch all of those, you probably have a pretty good
I
time.
probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know why I'm getting such a kick out of like war movies and stuff, but
Sometimes it's just the vibe.
they're sick as fuck.
Yeah, they are really good. Did you watch Saving Private Ryan? Like while you're in the kick of war movies? Okay, good. Very, very good movie. Yeah, that is so funny. Just watching war movies. Do you ever get on the natural disaster movie kick? Like,
No, because I get too paranoid that it's gonna happen to me,
okay.
so I don't watch natural disasters.
Nina gets that like once a year. So we go and watch like Day After Tomorrow, 2012. But then she won't watch like the alien ones, like Independence Day and stuff like that. But it's the same. It's like basically the same. But yeah, that's really, really funny. I also, speaking of Nina, I got her into Spy Family, which is sick. So I'm very excited because the movie comes out this month, and I was like, oh, Jess is up in flag, so I don't have somebody to watch an anime movie with, and so I sent her that, and she's like, I'll go with you to see that if you finish the books like that I own, and I only have two of them, and I finished the first one in like 30 minutes because I was like halfway through it already, and then she's like, I was like, hey, do you want to watch like the first couple episodes? And we watched like 3 episodes, and she's like, I want to read this. And then she read the two books in like a day and a half, because they're just short mangas, and she's a fast reader. But yeah, now she's in, which is sick because it's such a good fucking show. Have you seen that show?
No,
Oh man, you'll love it. It's so good. It is just wholesome cuteness the whole way through.
I keep like, oh, I'm gonna watch Spy X Family. I'm gonna watch Spy Family, and then I never do it.
You'll get there. There's a lot to watch. I think there's like 45 to 50 episodes now, and then the movie comes out this month.
Yeah.
But they're easy
like,
watches, which is nice.
I think what stopped me is every time I try getting into a new anime, I choose the worst animes to try to get into.
Oh yeah.
Like my most recent one where I like watched the first 2 episodes and then I completely just stopped watching it altogether was The Promised Neverland.
Bro. Oh my God. I've tried to watch that like 3 times.
It's just after a while I'm like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah. It's so sad. It just beats you down like the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's another one? I'm curious.
God, I can't even remember because I stay loyal to,
yeah.
Huh?
I guess they're bad. So like, you didn't.
I'm gonna go into Crunchyroll, even though it's your Crunchyroll.
Yeah, God, Crunchyroll, if you're listening, I know you are. Can we have profiles, please, for the love of God?
For the love of fucking God, please.
I just want Jess to have her own profile. That's it. Even if there's a family plan, that's fine. I'll do that too. I pay $80 a year for Crunchyroll. It's like one of the best deals. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
I love paying upfront costs like that because I can't save the money anymore. I'm just gonna have it for another year, like because that's the thing with like I already saved the money. I paid up front, but with like Netflix and stuff, I'm like, do I want to pay $17 this month? No, okay, I'm gonna cancel it. But no,
I don't know which one it was.
It's all good. I've definitely had those like you watch it and you're just like, I'm not vibing with this. And it sucks when it's like a hyped up one too. It's like advertised all over the place. And I want to watch it because it looks really good. But I'm like, this is fucking sad, man. Like every single beat of this is sad. So I'm more of a chill vibes person.
Yeah. I will say my 2020 self is like trying to claw her way back.
Oh.
Because there's this anime that I used to watch all the time back in 2020. And I was like obsessed with it. And it's back on Netflix.
What
and
is it
the
called?
little part, Haikyuu.
Haikyuu, that's with the fucking pink-haired guy, right?
The volleyball.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking of...
With the orange-haired kid.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've heard good things.
I loved it. Honestly, like, I still... Like, when I see the clips of it, I'm like, oh my God, it's Haikyuu. Oh my God. Oh my God. But I know if I go back to that, there's no saving me.
What's going to happen? What are you afraid of unlocking?
2020 me?
What does that mean?
You don't want to know.
Okay. All right. Well, will update me on that if 2020 Jess makes an appearance on this podcast. I'll be curious. What I will recommend that you watch is 2 animes, which I think I've talked to you about one of them, which is Bocchi the Rock. That's 12 episodes. That's the one starring you and your roommate.
Gotcha.
You should watch it. It's really fucking good. The other one is DIY, do it yourself. Watch that with Nina. It's incredible. Another 12 episodes. Very chill, very good vibes. I would recommend those highly. Bocchi the Rock is getting a second season. I don't know if do it yourself is, but it doesn't need one. It's one of those ones that ends in a way that's fine without it. I would love a second season though. If the creator is out there somehow listening, everybody's listening. We got Crunchyroll and WWE and everybody's listening to this episode. I would love a second season of Do It Yourself. It's a great show. But yeah, that was a long intermission.
I know we both said, oh, this is going to be short. We don't got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We've
needed this. We haven't had it in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley started everything.
And then the moon, bro.
Moon. The prison of Atlantis on the moon, on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to go into spoiler section and talk about? Oh wait, we got to talk about next month's game, just in case. Totally forgot. So the plan currently is to play Little Gator Game, which is about a 4 to 5 hour game available on basically everything. It's on Game Pass recently, which is what sparked this for me. We also got a recommendation of it for our Game of the Year last year, was to play that. So we're probably going to do that. If not, the other game we're going to play is Night in the Woods, which we'll play for May, and is all about coming back from school. So that'll be perfect for Jess, who will be done with school at the end of May, at least for a little while. So
For like 3 months.
yeah. So if you would like to play either of those games, I would definitely recommend Night in the Woods. Little Gator game, if you have Game Passes on there. It's also on sale currently on Switch. I saw that. Oh, by the time you listen to this, it won't be on sale anymore, so I apologize. But it's like a $15 game. So check that out. And with that, we will see you guys in the spoiler section. We are back. Spoilers abound for Storyteller, which me and Jess were talking in between on the break of just possibly ending the episode right here. But I think we could talk a little bit more about the game and some of our frustrations and some of our likes and things like that specifically, instead of just being vague. But yeah, Jess, do you have anything to discuss about the game more in depth? Oh yeah, the puzzle, right? Like that you guys were struggling with.
Yes. Unfaithful husband punished.
Mm-hmm.
We could not understand what the fuck it was like.
Yeah.
I still don't know, because usually whenever I got stuck, I would just look at the first like image like you did.
Yeah.
Like I would search it up on TikTok, look at how they first got it, like first started figuring it out, and then I would take that. But we had to like look at an image and be like, how the fuck does this work?
Yes.
Because the end of like the second to end slide of Unfaithful Husband Punished is the witch goes to the mirror, and the mirror says, oh, Snow is the fairest of them all.
Yes.
And she's like, and she somehow finds out that that's her husband who kissed Snow White.
Mm.
And I don't really understand it.
Yeah, you have
like,
to. So you have to. The way it worked was basically you have to give a reason for the witch, right, to turn her husband into a frog. Which, so the first slide is very easy. You marry the witch, who is not ugly at this time, to the prince, and then you have to find a reason for the witch to hate Snow White, which is she's the fairest of them all, so she's pissed. Then you turn her ugly, then you have her go. The one thing, that all makes sense, right? That's fine. I totally agree. It's like, so the first thing that you like have to do then is you have to have the husband, who is Prince Charming, or right? Yeah. Is it Prince Charming? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's the Charming. Prince, whatever. Meet with Frog Snow White, which is the next thing. And then it's like, but wait, how does he know? It says that she's talking, but it's like, it's a fucking frog.
Yeah, ribbit, bitch.
Like, and then the next scene is you have the prince kiss the frog.
Tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the tunnel of love.
Which is dumb, because why would he kiss the frog? He's married, right? Like he has no reason to, because like for me, I thought it was like, oh, we have to somehow find a way for the husband to realize that he married the witch and all that stuff. And I'm like, there's not enough time for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then it shows, from then it makes sense. Like, then it's like, okay, Snow White is now Snow White again and not the frog. So if the witch sees that, she knows that Prince Charming kissed Snow White. And that makes sense. But like, yeah, that little in between part was really dumb. And I definitely had to look up some hints for that. But yeah, that was a weird one.
That one and the Love Revolution, the fucking Knight and Maid murder the monarchs and have an affair.
Yeah, that one I spent a lot of time on. It
was the day before Easter, at your house, and you know how we had some type of get together.
Yeah,
we're chilling there, me and my two brothers, and I'm like, Jared, I need your help. Come help me with this puzzle, because I could not figure it out. Every way that I thought was like logical, it wasn't logical. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I would try the maid pushing the what's it called? Pushing the queen because because the maid had an affair with the king.
Yeah.
But the maid wouldn't push her.
Yeah, that's where I thought too. I was like, that has to be it. But there's no reason for the maid to kill the queen because that she is the affair. She knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were just sitting there for a solid 10 minutes trying to figure it out. And we couldn't figure it out. And so I'm like, Jenna, come here, come help us. So we have all 3 Runkio kids sitting on the couch huddled over my phone, just being like, okay, so put that one there. Okay, now put the maid there and put the king there. And now put the knight there. See how that works out. Didn't work out.
Yeah. It was a mess. Yeah. It makes sense now. Like when it's solved, it does make sense, right? So looking at this, you see the queen, you have the queen see that the king is having an affair. Then you have the queen kidnap the maid, and then you have the king save the maid, and then you have the king put the queen in the cage. And then you have the knight save the queen, and the queen tells him that the king put her there. King. So that makes sense. And then everyone kills, fine. Great. That makes sense, but it is extremely difficult. It's definitely, I think, the hardest one in the game.
Which is fitting for it to be the last one, but still,
But yeah, it is frustrating when you're like, it sucks when you are on a roll in a puzzle game and then you just hit a rock, right? But like you said, it was the last puzzle, which is good. But I think that's the strength of this game is most of the time you are just running through these things, and it feels pretty good. But I don't really have much else to say about this game. I just wanted to talk about that because you kind of gave me that little teaser before I had even played the game. So I was like, what is this final puzzle? But now I understand. But yeah, do you have any closing thoughts for this game? No?
All my closing thoughts I said at the beginning, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can, play it.
Yeah, literally. Everyone should be able to have access to this game in some way, shape, or form. And I think it is worth playing for sure. Even if you wanted to pay for 1 month of Netflix and then play this, I still think it'd probably be pretty worth it because then you just get bonus Netflix for a month. Or honestly, just find somebody else's Netflix account, and use that because I don't think they check for the logins for games. So you can do that. But yes, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. If it's your first time listening, please leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really helps the channel grow. We continue to get reviews on Spotify, but Apple Podcast is lacking. So I will call people out. If you're listening to Apple Podcast, you could do better. Just saying. But
please.
Please. I'll be a little more polite. But if you're a returning listener, go find somebody and tell them about this. If you have somebody else that would like listening to people talk about Rhea Ripley for way too long, then maybe send them this episode. It might be the perfect introductory to us just talking about nonsense. And Jess, how about you hit us with the socials?
You can find us everywhere at Short Long Pod, on Instagram and on Threads. Those are the places we're most active. I think the only 2 places we are active
currently. Yeah.
And in our bios there, you can find our link tree. It'll link you back to our podcast and also our Discord group, LFG, Leveling Friends Group community, where we just talk about games and life in general.
Yep. And reminder, there's a possible 2 games that we'll be playing next month. If we are able to record a Between the Games this month, we'll probably have a confirmed what game we're playing by then. But just for preparation, if you want to play Little Gator Game or Night in the Woods, those are the 2 options. Total amount of time would probably take about 13 hours to play both of them. I recommend it. I know Night in the Woods is really good, and I know Little Gator Game is incredible, and I haven't even touched it yet. So go check those out, and like we always say, don't forget to kidnap your friends.
Bye. Here we go.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's the good clicky goodness.